name of Allah, most gracious, merciful and bountiful. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Parveen Alavia, a practicing lawyer and a researcher in world religions. My question to you, Dr. Naik, is, you mentioned the solitary illustration of a woman who told the body that she was forced into a marriage, and her marriage was allowed to be invalidated. This incident took place years ago, and on the year, if possible, the body. Quran is the constitution of the rights of women and men. Is there a body? If so, name it, which also enforces the breakage and rights. Thank you.
Sister has asked a very good question. She has asked that about the rights of the woman. It's very well laid down in the Quran and the Hadith. And if a woman is forced into marriage, the marriage can be invalidated. Is there any body today existing which can invalidate such marriages? There are many bodies, example in Iran as well as in Saudi Arabia. Unfortunately, the Indian government doesn't allow the Muslim community to have such courts, though there is a Muslim personal law, but all the rights are not given. If you request the Indian government to allow us to have such boards out here in India, then inshallah even in India we'll have such bodies. They have given only certain rights, not all the rights.
The next question from the chat: is co-education allowed in Islam? This is from Rashid Sheikh, he's a student. Is co-education allowed in Islam?
Brother asked the question, is co-education allowed in Islam? Meaning, can male and female study in the same school, college or universities? First, let's analyze whether male and female can study in the same school. There was a report which came last year in the world this week, and it gave the survey of the schools, both unisex schools as well as co-ed schools in the UK. And the survey said that the overall result of a unisex schools was much better than a co-ed school. When interviews were taken of the teachers, they said the students in unisex schools concentrated more than the co-ed schools. When interviews of the students were taken, they preferred studying in co-ed schools than unisex schools. And you know the reason very well why. And that survey continued. It said that people in co-ed schools spend more time in becoming popular with the opposite sex. And besides lack of concentration, they give very smart answers to the teachers. And they spend more time in dating than in gaining education in school. And the last point of that survey was the UK government was thinking of setting up more unisex schools in the country. According to the American report, it said that girls in school spend more time in picking up illicit sex techniques from the classmates than acquiring knowledge from the teachers. In India, the same thing is happening to a greater or lesser extent. Let's analyze the males and females together in the colleges and universities. All the points I mentioned for schools, they are magnified when it comes to college and universities. According to a report of Newsweek, which was published on 17th of March 1980, on page number 50, it said that the sexual assault of the women in the universities was given, and it said, I won't repeat the full history of that report because time is short, but the main point is that lecturers and professors, they forced the ladies into sexual harassment in exchange for a better grade. Same thing is happening in India, in Bombay. And after they're sexually harassed, but natural, the concentration to education goes low. You had incidents last year which made the headline of the paper, I forgot the name of the college, in which a girl student was raped in the broad daylight by 4 or 5 students in the college premises. And out, according to a report which came day before yesterday in the Times of India on the 26th of August, it repeated the report of New York Times. It said that 25% of the ladies that go to schools and universities in America are raped. My basic question is, do you want to send your child to a school to get educated, or do you want to send your child to the school to pick up illicit techniques or be sexually harassed? If it's the first, I I would advise you to put them in unisex schools, and there are several of them in the city.